Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Elden Ring stream here on the wonderful, fantastic Dannphan's channel. We're going to be playing more of the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I'm going to be doing my best to uncover like the whole map and everything before I just finish the DLC, because I feel like I already got to the end game area, but I didn't actually finish all of the areas. So we might as well do everything before we just end the story, you know? And that's what I figure anyway. I like to complete as much as possible. Of course, we're playing the best character, Sir Husbanda, a holy crusader. So, I did look up how to get the map in this area. You see it's
Just
right.
kill this thing.
Alright, yep. You see it's right here. And part of me thought, okay, well, I must find it somewhere in this area. I must need to, like, do a jumping puzzle or something to get there. But as it turns out, I actually need to go into a cave all the way over here. And, I guess you go through here, out here, and then you find the map. So, naturally, I did not expect that. Which is, why I was being driven crazy trying to figure out, like, what puzzle I need to solve to get there. But we'll go through the cave and we'll go get the map, and then my OCD will be satisfied. And it shouldn't take too long, of course. After that, we can go do the Saint Trina stuff, because I didn't really finish it.
The map is in a cave?
It's not in a cave. You go through a cave to get to the map.
Still seems a bit stupid.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect it. But, you know, you can get to the area without going through the cave, but you gotta go through the cave to get the map for the area. I guess they're expecting you to discover this cave before discovering the area, which maybe is fair, but I don't know. I wasn't really expecting caves to be that important. Oh my god, he did that much poison?
Or is it the ground?
Is this guy done already? Where'd he go? Oh.
Nice.
Alright. Yeah, I guess that must be the ground, so I guess we're gonna have to horse it. Horse it up. I don't know.
Do some literal horsing around.
Toxic mossling. Sick. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. I can never really tell with this mic what is like the best position for best audio. Oh, we got a couple birds. Great. That's what I wanted, more birds. Why are there so many of these stone birds in this DLC? Clearly someone must have been proud of this creation and was just like, okay, I guess we'll put them everywhere. Oh, this is one of the friendly ones. So, these guys, you get cookbooks from them.
What if I kill him instead?
Then you can't do this one guy's, or you can't, like, the one guy becomes, like, unfriendly to you if you kill them, because they're under, what is his name? I already forgot it.
I don't know
Not
if
this
I want that guy to be friendly to me. Those guys suck.
So they're under, like, his control. Not Hornsend, it's, what the fuck is that guy's name? Is he not appearing on the map anymore? Alright, well, let me get out of here before I die. So yeah, he fucking got him mind controlled, and he gets upset if you kill him. So, it's whatever. And apparently, if you collect all the cookbooks from them, you can go to him for a final cookbook, and you can craft something good with the final cookbook. But I forget what it was.
Sounds like a pain. I think I'd rather murder all those fucking creatures and then just use the cheat engine to give me all the cookbooks.
Well, you can certainly do that, honey.
Yeah.
It's all up to you. Elden Ring does give you that option for a reason.
Well, I don't know if Elden Ring has given me the option, but yeah.
Well, the option to murder them, I guess. Right. He might drop it when he dies, I don't know. Sometimes that's just like the easy way of like getting past doing a quest is just killing the guy. Nice view, anyways. So yeah, and then I just go down there, and I can get me a map. There's also up here. Wonder what's over here, huh? Well, we got barriers. Those guys are gonna shoot at me. Sanguine bullets. Ooh, I don't like those guys. Oh, jeez, they're bathing. Ew.
Is that the guys with the clubs? I can't even tell what those are supposed to be.
Yeah. Say, guys with the clubs.
Ew.
I know, right? Disgusting. Not safe for work.
Okay.
Treasure. Ooh, another shield talisman?
Pearl shield talisman.
Fucking me up, Daddy.
You gotta calm down.
Alright. I'm excited to check out that. For sure. Let's see. Is there anyone nearby? Oh, okay. Yes, there is. Or not, but not nearby exactly. What?
You gotta dodge with a little more Trump.
I didn't dodge. I'm trying to get the pillar to block it. Is that fine? Ooh. Okay.
You gotta channel your Trump.
Where is
That's
that?
up. Up. That one.
Yeah. Boosts all non-physical damage negation while guarding.
Ooh.
Okay. So that makes sense because it's called Pearl, right? Pearl Drake. Okay.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's probably more interesting than the thing that lets you do Wrath of Gold a bunch more times.
Where's that grace? There it is. I'll just rest there and then try to go get the map. We can explore around though, of course.
Might be interesting to like resurrect Mesmer and see if that makes any difference.
Maybe. It might make difference. I'm sure we'll find another boss again, of course. Hey, Gabe and Oscar420. Welcome to chat.
Oh, hey guys. I gotta zoom in further. I can barely see you guys.
This guy, am I right? Oh.
So you guys hear about the
I'm sure they've heard. It's kind of hard not to hear about it, right? Oh god. Oh. 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 I don't know why I didn't get hit by that fire, but thank you. Ugh.
Anyway, I was gonna say the assassination attempt.
Yes. Ah. Speaking of assassination attempts, this guy is fucking me up.
It's kind of wild. Although, I find it kind of galvanizing more than anything. I think it's showing people that, like, insane leftists are insane leftists.
For endorsing violence against your political opposition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that is a not cool thing to do. Ooh. Or at least not unless you are someone who is not willing to compromise. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. We are heading closer to that Civil War people keep on talking about.
I don't really know. I wouldn't say that. So, do you remember the trick with fighting these guys?
Trick?
Yeah. It's interesting to see you fight them fair, but you didn't have to.
Can you explain?
Yeah. They're really easy to chain stagger. So, like, what you do is maybe like one jumping attack, like as you're running in, and then you just.
Oh, those are true for the trolls. These are golems.
I know what they are. You fully charge a power attack, and then maybe fully charge a second one, if you can get it off. And then once they're staggered the first time, like you should just put 100% of your effort into staggering them and not worry about trying to deal damage. And then once you stagger them once, you get their riposte, and you go over and start.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing jumping attacks against the guy.
Yeah. But you staggered him and didn't chain stagger him. Like
Yeah, it's just like a really awkward positioning.
Yeah. Fully charged power attacks do more than jump attacks. They're just harder to land.
Right.
But when he's like kind of letting you hit him.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't typically do the harder to do things because they're hard.
Yeah. Those guys are,
Alright, we got the map.
kind of like. Oh, there you go. They're kind of like formulaic to kill.
Hey, this place is bigger than I thought.
And yeah, what I was talking about what happened with Trump. Gabe. Yeah, kind of wild.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but like Destiny was going fucking crazy on Twitter.
Absolutely unhinged and disgusting.
Yeah. He was like calling the guy who he was like covering up his daughter or something. The guy who died blocking bullets for his kid. He was like calling him a retard and like he's fucking total goddamn lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Twitter has been like quite a mess. Oh, hello.
I think for the most part, people are pretty sensible. I've just noticed, like,
Of course.
in general, the world has been improving. I think, like,
Well, I guess part of the step to healing is to recognize that there is a problem.
yeah, and I think, like, it's funny because the conversation has shifted so much where people are no longer talking about, like, is there going to be a right swing or is there going to be, like, remigration or something? The question has become, like, where is it going to start? The Netherlands is doing a mass deportation. They're kicking everybody out who was, like, migrants or whatever. But they have not yet committed to remigration despite talking about it, like, about wanting to. Poland and Hungary are still doing great.
Yeah, I envy. I
And
envy Poland for sure.
the only issue with Poland and Hungary is just, like, that Russia is so close. So if there is some, like, if Russia does go for some crazy westward expansion, it'll be a big problem for them. Like, right now, all of Russia's, like, resources are being consumed in the Ukraine war, and so are ours. So it's really good for Poland and other countries in the region that the war hasn't expanded to, like, multiple fronts. But even the Stormy Daniels thing was a joke when Trump could have done for far more serious stuff he's done. I don't. Me neither.
Heyo, welcome to chat.
But yeah, I feel like the world in general, like, I see less insane opinions, and I see way more people are, like, way more comfortable, like, just
Telling
being
other people to fuck off.
yeah, just stuff seems so much more normal. Like, people are no longer really super afraid of, like, calling stuff gay and, like,
Oh my god.
and you wanted to spare those guys?
This is a different fucking
Yeah,
type.
yeah.
You dumbass.
I would kill them all. Let God sort them out. Let America sort them
It's
out.
just annoying because I tried to jump to get over this damn rock, and then it unlocked me from him. That's what fucking got me.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It won't expand. I don't see that being Russia's goal. TBH. You think they're just trying to, like, secure themselves against, like, a like if they take, like, controlling Ukraine is, like, tactically important for a war from the West against Russia. So, like, some people were saying that because of our, like, aggressive and gay politics, where we pushed Russia to have to secure Ukraine. But because it's, like, it's geographically significant, that area, not just because there's, like, food there or something. It's or, like, good farming. It's
Gray Bird's Black Quill Armor. That sounds edgy.
yeah.
You. The poison flower blooms twice. What
That
a
is-
fucking name.
That is so fucking Japanese.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, like some sort of poison kick.
Trump as president has many friends around the world with all the lefties in now. Yeah, but and the English labor victory you're talking about. Yeah, but that's I don't know that I don't see a lot of, like, congruence with what I know in that statement. So, like, Labor and the quote-unquote Conservative Party, which has, like, their president is, like, the president of fucking, or it's not the president, whatever, the leader of England is, like, was a guy named, like, Rishi. It's, like, shocker. He let in more Indians.
That is shocking. I wouldn't have expected that.
But yeah, he's the leader of the so-called like right-wing party. So it's like a mono party harder than I've ever.
Oh my god, no! It's like flying insects now.
Ew. Anyway, it's like a mono party harder than I've ever seen in England. They
oh, thank goodness, Golden Light still hits.
They called for an early election because they saw that a third, more right-wing party was picking up traction. And so they gave the ruling party, who is supposed to be right-wing, gave the election to the far left-wing party because they were afraid of a right-wing party taking control. So obviously the right-wing party is not right-wing in England. And people want a right-wing party, and the amount
They really don't have people that are representing them.
And the amount of people that are right-wing doubles every year. Like, every year when they do a poll in high schools, consistently every year the amount of, like, conservatives have, like, doubled. It's kind of like 20, 40, 80. Now it's like all the younger generation in England is, like, super right-wing. And assuming that people continue to get old and die, England is going to be entirely right-wing very soon. But because the Conservative Party did such a bad job, the obvious answer is to vote for the opposite party.
If I ever saw one.
But you're not going to get any better solutions for, like, you're not going to get right-wing solutions from the left wing. So, like, their first order of business was to declare that all gasoline-powered cars will be banned from Britain in, like, 2027 or something. So, fucking, I don't know.
Good luck.
Good luck with that. The California power grid couldn't handle it for, like, a couple days, so...
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of, like, gasoline generators that get used all over the place to power electric cars. Not that you couldn't have a power grid that could support it, but you need to go heavy into nuclear, but the left tends to invest in, like, solar and wind, which doesn't have a good power output, so there's, like, it's just not financially viable to even repair them when they break. Everyone's building them based on, like, a tax stipend.
There's another big boy right over there. Okay. I'm not into fighting room bears. Fun fact.
Also, Putin literally said a long time ago he'd do exactly what he's doing if NATO kept expanding. Yeah.
Oh my god, even more. Oh god. They're scary. I don't like them. It doesn't matter how high level I am. I will get fucked up by one.
Yet in 10 years of Afghanistan, the Soviets lost 20,000. I don't know how accurate that, like, factoid is. I know the U.S., for all the memes about oil, a huge criticism against the U.S. in the Middle East was not taking any of the oil of the places they were occupying to fuel their, like, ships or planes or cars or anything.
Yeah.
They could have, and they just didn't. Or we just didn't.
We produce our own oil.
Sure, but it's too expensive to take it to, like, across the Atlantic, so
Yeah, for sure.
we're taking it from the Mediterranean, and then we were paying, like, 3 different Taliban groups to, like, get it in so that we could use it to fight the Taliban in one area. It was like, super stupid. Like, other terrorist groups were getting rich because we were fighting terrorists in, like, one area, and it's like, that's not something you have to do. That's just, like, stupid. Like, that's just a dumb decision. Like, we could have been taking oil from the area we're working in, because
All embarrassing.
people are probably always going to believe that we went to the Middle East for oil, despite never taking any oil for our military operations.
It is pretty crazy, isn't it?
So, like, I'm not saying that, like, we didn't get better trade deals with other Arab countries for messing up an Arab country that they don't like, but, like, you know, I don't know. I'm sure the Soviets probably utilized the area that they were in better, and so they probably made money at the same time that they're spending money. They also lost a ton of lives, but I guess if they're not paying benefits to families, then they're saving money. But I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want my country to be saving money like that.
Mm.
But I think it's like, I think the war in Ukraine is like a contest of who can spend money more strategically, and Russia was like buying up used cars, and turning them into like pseudo armored vehicles, and like conscripting their minority populations to like do a quicko ethnic cleanso. So like their costs. I don't know. I would never assume the United States could spend money more efficiently than another country. So, like, the fact that we've elected to go into this Ukraine war, assuming that we can spend money more efficiently than Russia, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a lot of, like, stuff that goes missing in, like, Eastern European conflicts, but... I just don't go to the extremes. I guess center, right, or left both have a place.
Oh, it's only
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess what is the meme? It's like, I don't go to extremes. It's like, so you're American conservative, like an American Republican.
Yeah. My dad is registered as an independent, even though he does not agree with anything in the independent party. It's just because he doesn't want to be associated with Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
Come on. I know somebody's gonna ambush me. Oh, fuck.
Did you block that?
Nope.
Nice. Is that with the pearl thing on?
No.
Oh. So that does physical damage somehow.
Yes.
Bizarre.
It's because they're trying to be nice. I see another cannon guy over there.
Thanks for the hand-drawn art in the mail. I wasn't expecting a physical version of the Ichabod drawing. Oh, of course.
Oh yeah. You want it. It's yours. Yep. Here we go.
Military-industrial complex profits from weapons used in reconstruction of war zones, contracts, war profiteering.
Oh yeah, I see now. Yeah. I recognize those eyes. Those are some Dark Souls eyes right there.
What happened?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Remember how you get cursed by those quote unquote basilisks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they had those eyeballs
Mm.
floating above there. So I'm thinking that we're gonna be doing another Eye of Sauron thing where I put on the mimic veil and slowly inch forward.
Lizard greatsword.
No one will ever know. Yes, I am Dannphan.
Traveling in style. I don't think this works. If I'm being honest.
Well, it's worth experimenting. Yeah, you know that it works on the Eye of Sauron because I showed you that it worked. But they don't actually show you it building up. Okay, so I assume the eyes mean that he spotted me. But now I'm hiding. So am I still like building a meter? Am I gonna die? Do I have to wait for the eyes to go away?
Well, I don't see the meter.
Exactly. I didn't see the meter. It just all of a sudden said I was death blighted.
Okay.
I think that's part of the difficulty, I guess, right? I'm just wondering, like, is this a red light, green light thing again? Like with the Eye of Sauron, where I have to wait until, like, the eyes close and then inch forward? Or if I can just, like, sneak my way over. There is also the possibility that there's a hidden pathway that I can go around. But I like pretending to be a coffin. They'll never know. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it is a meter, it just built up like really, really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess kill this guy and then like coffin your way through.
Yeah. Oop.
So still excited for the Age of Mythology retold thing. I think it's going to be good, although I still don't like the change to, like, obviously the company is like a little suspect, a little like left leaning, right?
Now I'm a pretty, pretty Grim Reaper.
But they've so far been like respectful to the gods and stuff. Like they haven't made anyone black, which is a miracle, honestly. They didn't change Isis's name to like Iset or something. It's incredible. They did make Gaia like a sexy Groot.
No, I'm just an innocent Green Reaper. No, of course, no. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not a threat. Get that meter down, you silly goose.
And and also they made Isis's like boobs much smaller. I did happen to notice, and they took away her like midriff and gave her like a translucent shirt.
Oh.
Of her, half of her, like instead of a midriff, it's like a
Interesting.
midriff with a it's like a
Just a little bit, just an itty bitty bit extra clothing.
yeah. So it's like, okay, all right, and they made her a little flatter, and they made Gaia have like bigger tits and be a tree. And so I'm a little like...
Yeah, I don't like the tree thing.
I really hate that, actually, because it's like, now you have like... So it's like, you know, a middle school boy is going to like pick up this game, he's going to be playing it, and then he's going to see like Isis and be like, oh, I guess she's okay, she's kind of hot. But that tree, and all of a sudden you've got a weirdo fetish. All of a sudden you're like 2 steps closer to being some fucking weirdo fucking a bear in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, surely these eyes must go away at some point, right? So that I can move forward. I guess I'll just have to keep watch and see if they disappear.
Suppose so.
Yeah.
You just very slowly inch forward.
No. Once he gets suspicious, he'll
Can you
start
go in your
killing me.
Can you change your inventory while you're in the Mimic Veil? Like, can you change your talisman to equip something and give you more Deathblight resistance?
Yeah, I can do that. I can't see why I wouldn't be able to. Do I have anything with Deathblight resistance?
Yeah, you do.
What do I got?
Just that section. Yeah, one of those will be it. Oh, which vitality? I think. Yeah, that one is.
Vitality is
Yeah,
Deathblight?
that looks like the Deathblight symbol, so it's probably that.
Probably.
Yeah.
That meter goes up very quickly.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, we'll keep an eye on the eyes and see if they disappear at some point so I can inch forward more.
Yeah.
What a fun puzzle. I'm so glad that they used it twice.
Yeah. So we had our get together with our friends, which was super awesome.
Oh yeah, that was great. It was actually yesterday
Yeah, and we watched.
when the news broke out.
Yeah, we watched Solo Leveling.
Yes, we did. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's
The voice actor for the main character was like trying to win an Oscar or something with those screams. Jeez.
Yeah, the screams of the ladies and stuff were good too.
Yeah.
A lot of real fear in them. It was good. I would say the directing is pretty bad. Like, the whole showing the ant island in the beginning makes no fucking sense. It will pretty much never be relevant to the plot. No matter how far in you go to the story, it just doesn't fucking matter. Yeah,
See
so
the eyes disappearing.
so the resistance does seem to be helping, because you were going up to 75% before, but now you're going up about half.
That's good. That is good.
It's looking noticeable.
I can inch forward farther. I can also drop down here. Maybe that's what they had in mind. But I don't play by the rules.
Yeah. So leveling, cool, it's not perfect, but I like it. I would just advise reading the thing.
And get a better story.
Yeah, because I think they were breaking up the action like fucking crazy in those first 2 episodes. They're like, hang on, now that we're in this dungeon, we're about to die. Let's talk about the greater economic system. And it's like,
oh yeah.
are you out of your fucking mind? You're talking about the economy right now? He's about to have his legs ripped off by a laser, and you're like, yeah, so this is how
this works.
This is how he spends his money, and how he's kind of struggling to make money in a job that costs money to do.
Did I inch forward too
that
hard?
that was really bad.
I thought it was about to go down, but then it just kept going. So.
That's I was a weeb before the term existed. I wonder what the origin of the term weeaboo is.
It's a good question. I'm sure people would have multiple answers to that. Sounds like the type of thing that could come from a bunch of different places. Oh, I hate that. You jump. I can jump too. Let's jump down here. Aha! Now I can see what's down here. Nothing interesting.
There we go. Know your meme should tell me.
Know your meme. Did it start off as a meme?
Well, know your meme just has really good
Random
like.
information.
No, it just has really good like etymology and like actual history on it. Like
Really?
yeah, it has like very detailed accounts of like the guy who runs Know Your Meme is like actually like very smart. Like he cares about chronicling the actual history of stuff that happens on the internet. And he seems to be he seems to be basically the only one that's like super interested in like putting it someplace besides people who put it in video content, like they compile it all in like a thing you have to watch for like an hour. But if you're actually trying to do research to learn these things, you're not doing it for like edutainment. You need it in like a written form so you can like control F something or like you know it just doesn't. It's just not functional as a video. Anyway, he writes, Weeaboo, aka Wapanese, is a English slang term to describe someone, a person, typically of non-Asian descent, who prefers Japan and all things Japanese over one's indigenous culture. There's a typo. The term is a successive mutation of Wapanese, a derogatory slur referring to Western Japanophiles with a strong bias towards Japanese cultural and tech imports. Hang on, there's an ad in the middle of the page of something that I must have.
Is it actually something that you must have done?
No, I don't know. It says, what the fuck is a kilometer with, like, fireworks and, like, I thought Trump riding an eagle with a machine gun, but it's George Washington. So it's like, I don't have to have it. It would be really funny to get. I think I would really like to get, like, one of those Trump shirts where he's on the tank or whatever. But
That was nice.
first record is on the racial slur database on June 30th, 2002. From late 2003 and onward, use of Wapanese became very visible on 4chan, leading to unpleasant exchanges between anime/manga fans and those who were far less interested in their subcultures. 4chan Modder has devised a creative intervention using the word filter, replacing every instance of Wapanese with weeaboo, which was a fictitious term originally coined by Nicholas Gurevich in his Harry Bible Fellowship comic strip, which it says, if we waste any more time on weeaboo, we will be bankrupt by the end of the month. Is someone just say weeaboo? Because I think I just heard someone say weeaboo. What?
Wow, what
And
a
then
great comic.
It's they're all paddling someone.
What?
In its original context, the word weeaboo doesn't signify anything but something undesirable and deserving of punishment. Since then, many 4chan visitors adopted the word weeaboo in replacement of Wapanese. They're comparing otaku to weeaboo.
Right. Otaku is the more kinder term referring to nerds. What's that?
Nah, just like slightly interesting. They're like going on to talk about how like the criticism of weeaboos is essentially criticizing someone for having a love of the outside, like as in anything besides their own culture. The criticism is being kind of rooted in sort of this worship of the other. So like the so you could describe the use of like the insult of weeaboo as like kind of like a nationalist thing, because it's like, or not necessarily nationalist, but like you like your own culture better and think that someone who's obsessed with another country's culture is a loser.
I see, yes.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that perspective.
It's kind of different now because Japan is like a nationalist ethno-state. So if you're a fan of Japan, you're kind of like, in a way, like probably a nationalist yourself, right? You kind of, if you admire even their government system, then you're like...
Yeah. It is a very admirable thing about Japan is the fact that they're nationalists and very proud and protective of their culture.
Yeah, I was like reading some like romance thing, and it was like scanned from whatever publication, and they had some statement in there, and they were like, my heart goes out to all those people in like who have been impacted by this earthquake and tsunami and whatever, and then they were like, our culture is very important, we must like preserve it and protect it and like restore like these cultural sites and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is printed in a magazine, and they weren't like, oh my god, you racist, bigot, homophobe. So like they can openly preserve their own culture and their own nation without people saying that they're like some kind of bigot because they're not like doing whatever for like...
Except for Korea, I guess.
Yeah, well, like other Asian countries don't like Japan.
Yeah, of course, like... yeah. It's one of the unfortunate things about solo leveling.
They really sell 8 copies.
It's sold like under 10, I believe.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
really
can you blame them for not wanting to purchase it when it's basically like just shitting on them and their culture?
It takes a really long time to shit on them.
Still, they know that it's there, you know? It's one of the most popular webcomic in the world. Everybody knows what the content is.
I mean, you could just assume that it's like, oh, it's just because of the plot, because they did this in the story. A lot of people are like, that's just because of this that happened in the story. And it's like, someone wrote it down. They did it on purpose. Like, they wrote, whatever they wrote, they wrote on purpose.
They have control over the world that they created, yes.
Like, it was like when I was, like, criticizing, like, on Twitter, I was criticizing Goblin Slayer for being fucking weird, and people who like it being weird. And, I was like, oh, and also they pee on themselves. And they're like, someone was like, there's nothing wrong with Goblin Slayer. And I was like, well, it's like weirdo, like, it's weirdo monster rape porn, and they pee on themselves. So that's like one thing that's wrong with it. And then he's like, it's not porn at all. And the peeing is just a hunting strategy. I don't know what the fuck that is supposed to, like, it's just a response that like doesn't make sense in context.
Hunting strategy.
A hunting strategy? Yeah, it's fucking retarded. Someone wrote it down because they're...
Goblins can smell pee, and that's how they hunt for humans who pee on themselves.
You know what I would do if I wanted the goblins to be able to smell them when they got afraid?
It's like sweat.
I would have them smell the sweat because I'm not a freak.
It's a very obvious thing.
Yeah, because I'm not a freak who is turned on by girls peeing on themselves. But some weirdo wrote it to be weird, and that's what happened. I can tell you for a fact a guy wrote that down, and he's weird. And that's why it's there. It's not there because the goblins do this. It's like, he wrote that. He wrote that goblins do that. They're not real. So I can totally imagine someone looking at solo leveling and be like, all 15 of the Japanese characters all die horribly devoured by ants because they just did, because the ants were really strong. And it's like, well, he wrote that the ants were really strong.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he wrote that they're all, like, they're all murdered.
Yeah. in general, the anime is just trying to compete with Japan and like do what they do but better, to like take the market from them. You know. Even like anime that is being produced in Japan, a lot of the work is being outsourced to places like China and Korea. So people get upset over stuff like that because they want it to be like within their own country. Like,
Yeah.
like we said, they're nationalists, you know? They want to preserve their culture and their jobs. I think that's about as far as I get.
If you want to explore others' cultures, the food is a good start. I like some other countries' food a lot. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's interesting. There's some lady that went on Joe Rogan, and her whole business is like doing a genetic test to figure out like what your genetic makeup is, and then designing you a diet based on your ethnic history.
That's so interesting.
And you can optimize like the vitamins that you use based on your ethnic history. Like there was some guy was talking about it, having like used her service, and he was like, "Oh, I'm like 60% Scandinavian, and so she put a lot of like fish into my diet, like because I have a higher absorbent. I can absorb omega-3s better than other people because I have that like those genetic markers." And so he like. So she's essentially like designing people like a racist diet. Like it's like, well, if I was like a
everybody knows that genetics play a big part in your
but no,
diet.
but if I was writing for like CNN or something, I would be like, a racist diet for everybody. But like, in reality, like some like your sweet great grandmother loved your great grandfather very much, or like your some sweet like 10x great grandmother loved your 10x great grandfather, right? And she cooked him this nice food, and then he enjoyed it, and you have that like baked into your like genetic history. Like you have some piece of that in you, and so there's something very like wholesome about that. There's something very nice about like recreating those dishes and making them and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like when
I love it when families have family recipes that's been passed down for a really long time.
My family recipes are like all fucked because my grandmother was like a sorcerer. There's no way to replicate her skill.
Aww.
But no, when I like recreated Brujol, everyone was super excited and everyone really loved it, and like people tried it and then they were like, "Oh my god, this is so good! Like, what is it?" You know, blah blah blah.
Really good, yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, well, it's like just like loosely based on like grandma's recipe," and they're like they had never had it because she was so much more famous for her other recipes, like lasagna. Everyone remembered her lasagna and like some meat sauce she made. What was it called? I was always like a picky eater, so I only liked spaghetti with like butter sauce. Man, this is like one hell of a dance.
Yeah, right.
Bolognese sauce, that's what it was.
Ah, delicious.
The Romans were the same and wanted that exotic goodness? Not really. They were like supremacist in everything, including their food. It was like fun for them after they conquered a territory for sure. They were like, this is new spices from our conquered lands. Don't you like the taste of victory? But like
delicious.
All of their food is very their cuisine didn't really, like, their diets didn't change in any significant way, like, through their whole history. It was always, like, I mean, it evolved, but it wasn't, like, they weren't incorporating dishes from other places in any, like, serious capacity. You know what else is weird about the Romans? Like, in Rome, like, the city of Rome, most people ate every meal at a fast casual place. And I think it's so fucking like a Chipotle, where they
order one of everything.
No, they start at one end and they have all these like pots that are like heated from a heat element underneath the counter.
Oh, like a buffet.
Like, yeah, but someone's on the other end of the counter and then you say what you want in your dish. and then they go down and
Ooh.
add something, and then charge you at the end. Like that was how they.
That is. Oh.
Probably with a scale, right? But they have that like. They don't know exactly how the restaurants worked, but that's like how the food was.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. So most people
Wow.
didn't cook for any of their meals. That was like the standard in Rome was to not cook at home. But there were people who cooked at home, and they used a communal fire. And the problem with the communal fire is sometimes there's a lapse in people watching it because there's like 10 families in the apartment building. And eventually someone's going to leave it unattended, and that's how those crazy fires in Rome got started. They like burn down half the city every once in a while. And adding to that is like all the like their terrible firefighting system, which was like semi-privatized, and then like some rich guy implemented like a effective firefighting company for free as like a work of charity to build his political popularity, and then he got too popular, and like so his political rival had him murdered because he was getting too popular for the next election. So then they didn't have a firefighting system, and everyone's like, oh, if I start a firefighting system, am I gonna get like fucking murdered? So then there's like these firefighter gangs like collecting payment, and then like if you didn't pay for fire insurance, they just like fucking let your building burn down and save the ones next to it.
Yikes.
Like they'd show up with buckets of water with asking for money, and then they'd put it out if you paid.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Okay.
Crazy how gigantic spike board can sneak up on you, but I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I thought I was done.
Ooh, he's fancy. Look how stylish that guy is.
Too bad he's fucking dead.
Epigenetics. Eat what is compatible with your ancestors' eating. Yeah.
Well, I got those spirit ashes.
I do hate when people, like, they hear that thing about the fast casual in Rome, and then they do the ensu sole thing, where they're like, oh, there's nothing new, oh, like, everything's already been done, I might as well just smoke weed and, like, just give up, like...
I'll never succeed in anything.
I had that... You know the friend I'm, like, referencing.
Yes.
But yeah, that was his response to it, is like, oh, yeah, it's just like, oh, there's no point in doing anything. Yeah, he would have the same response, like someone mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's like, oh, steroids. And it was like, yeah, but you know, like, steroids, they increase your recovery, like, they decrease your recovery time to let you work even harder. And he's like, huh.
The eyes?
It's like,
I don't even know where it is.
So I was like, yeah, like, steroids, it's not like an excuse for you being, like, 400 pounds, man. Like, if you took steroids, you'd still be fat as shit. Like, it's not... I don't know where it is either.
Okay, one cure for it.
Ah, perfect. What are you going to try to do this time? Is that candle purple?
Only if I go far enough into it.
Hmm.
Oh, there it is. I see it now. I am only coughing. There's gotta be a way to, like, kill those guys.
Oh, I'm sure. Cool setting, though, having all these bridges and stuff. I've been in a real catacombs. They're not that spooky.
It's kind of interesting. He didn't see me the whole time.
Yeah, because you were...
Was crouching make me extra sneaky?
It does, yes. It makes
Oh,
it... People,
I didn't realize that applied with the mimic veil,
I didn't
too.
know that either, but
Yeah,
that they see you
that's-
at, like, a further distance.
That's interesting.
So you might have been able to just... Oh, go check.
Go full invisible.
No, check if you can just crouch across that bridge and not be seen. Like, if the mimic veil didn't like, help anything.
Oh no. Crouching does not help.
But you were standing.
I was crouching. See? This is crouching.
Oh, okay.
Does now.
It
Well,
might.
the more you know, guys.
I think crouching, increases your discovery distance, and then reduces your discovery distance, and then Mimic Veil reduces it again. So I think it just.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, I think they just stack.
I think we're on this.
I think at some distance you could crouch and not be discovered, but I think doing the Mimic Veil on top probably helps. Good evening. Why are you a bathtub? That is a sarcophagus. Welcome, Marshall.
Shows what you know. Har, har, har. Oh, another fucking... Oh my god, they're chasing me.
Beat him up. Oh, it's patrolling.
That's so interesting. Can I actually... You think I can actually hit him? Can I hit the eyes?
Maybe.
I can certainly give it a shot. He comes over quick. I'm gonna beat up the eyeballs. It's okay, I gotta stake America. Bam! I don't think I can hit him. Nah, they're ghost eyeballs.
I didn't see your Deathblade build up while you were swinging. Interesting. Hey,
Well, the
Orani
good news
dude.
is while it's turning back, it can't see me. So the idea is to, like, you know, follow it as it's going back so it doesn't see you. At least there's, like, a method to this madness.
It's a Gurgi. Hi. Hello. Hey, buddy. Hi.
That's
You wanna say hi to
drop off,
stream?
right? So
You
it wants
say
me
to
to
stream?
drop down, I
You gonna
guess?
be cute for stream? Aww. Who's your puppy? Aww. Here's your Deathblade. Who's your
Oh, there's stairs.
Hi. No. Hi, puppy. Hi.
Can I kill the statue? No. That's kinda annoying.
I feel like
That face. What's up?
I feel like we should do something patriotic to
Oh my god. Big boy.
celebrate Trump not dying. Oh, that's a big boy. It's crazy.
Oh.
Hi, puppy.
Yeah,
I'm
never
sorry.
Trump
Did I
face.
forget to pet you? And you're like, paw. Must make him pet me more. Yes. So, if you haven't met him before, this is Gurgi.
He's a fluffy boy.
Yes. He's named after the fluffy guy in the Black Cauldron.
Yes.
And
He acts a lot more elegant than that character,
Yes.
though.
He is a elegant dog. Are you elegant, Gurgi? It's nice to meet you. Yes.
Oh, this is chaos, huh?
You're so fluffy. Yeah.
I see it's gonna be one of these rooms.
Hi, doggo. Hi. Oh, hello.
Alright. Let's go. Another elevator, huh? My goodness, there's quite a few of these. This is a long dungeon. Or maybe it just feels longer because of all the eyeballs. I don't
Oh,
know.
wow. We have, we got 8 people watching on Rumble.
Oh, we're so popular.
Oh, but you guys can't see Doggo. You can, like, barely see Doggo. Here's what I'm gonna do, Grady. I'm
Scoot over to shred. You're so chill. Yeah. A normal dog would panic.
And there's no
It'd
Stake
be like,
America here, huh? So if I die, I go back to that other spot instead.
Oh wait, it's the other way. You cut off this way. No, sure.
Okay. Well, I think I should be fine. What could possibly be on the other side? It's so
Oh,
a death knight.
that's cool. Ooh. Right.
Ooh, got a lot of poise, huh?
You're so cute.
Oh my god. Oh, that's a problem.
Still glad not to be dead despite pain. We're glad too, Oscar 420.
Shield. Yeah.
This guy's styling like crazy with that ethereal coat.
I know, isn't he
cloak.
so cool?
Is he healing himself with some chance?
Ooh.
Aww. What up, puppers? Hey, David Myers. How's it going? I might need your expertise with the toilet. Because, the plumber no longer fixes toilets, so that was a nice flourish. You really showed him who's boss.
I hit it by accident. Beat him up for Shield Bros.
This guy's cool. I'm almost sad that you're gonna beat him. Like, I don't want to see more of this guy.
I want to get his stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. You can resurrect him after you
Yeah.
kill him,
Oh,
like, fight him
absolutely.
again.
Absolutely.
Death
Death
Knight's-
Knight's long halved axe and
Trash.
oh yeah. Okay.
Did you ever get an answer as to what was wrong with it? So the reason it wasn't flushing was just because the water to the toilet was turned off because I guess my dad was annoyed that it was like constantly using up water with because it was like hissing. So all I know is that it's
So if you want to go into that cave, guys, it's over here.
it's still what kind of plumber don't fix toilets? So they just do bigger jobs now. They like upscaled their business from fixing people's toilets to installing like heating systems or something. I recently replaced the valve thing on my toilet and I feel very accomplished. Well, I hope to join the Can Fix a Thing club. Maybe I should give like special Discord roles. Can fix a thing.
What a beautiful sunset.
Man, there was this guy. He like started streaming and he was like a friend of a friend, and so I was like checking out. I was hanging out on his streams, right? And that guy was just like a fucking psycho. Like the more I like got to know that guy, the more I was like, man, this guy's a real piece of shit. Like, he's just a real bad person. Like, there was always this weird interaction between his girlfriend and this other, like, moderator that he had. And...
Interesting.
And the reason was because when they started dating, he was sleeping with the person who became his moderator. And he was like... I didn't talk to him directly about it, but my friend who was friends with him was like, oh, well, they didn't have the exclusivity talk. And it's like, yeah,
What?
it's like...
It's kind of implied.
Right. So, but then he's like, yeah, she can be my, like, moderator and whatever, and, like, his girlfriend obviously hates her, right, because
Whoop. Alright.
She's like the girl who was like sleeping with her boyfriend. But
No, yeah, I would say that makes sense.
But her boyfriend is like gaslighting her into being like, no, you're not allowed to not like her because you didn't say you didn't say exclusivity, no sleep backs or whatever. Like I don't know. It's like, oh, you didn't say double dare, dog. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah.
But
like, what is even the point of a relationship?
But someone was asking him advice on what they should do for setting up their own Discord, because he would go to small streamers and then be like, oh, I'll watch you, you should come watch me, and he'd go to these groups of like, oh, we can all like subscribe to each other.
It's like the follow back thing.
Yeah, the follow back thing, exactly. So he was like praying all these people's like, I don't know, it was really weird. That was the only people who watched him, was these people from these like, oh, we suck at streaming like groups. And it's like, I mean, I don't know, like when that happens organically, it's like whatever, you know, like there's like small, we're a tiny streamer, and like there's tiny streamers, and hi buddy, hello puppy, and I like following them and like watching.
Yeah, I like following small people too.
I generally like hanging out in small streams.
Just so long as I like the content, you know.
But this guy, it was weird. It was weird that this guy, and I don't really know how to like properly explain that.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
You were hanging out a long time with that, but you couldn't. Yeah, you're out of heels.
Yeah, you know.
Buddy, you got such a nut.
I thought about like trim, but then I was like, oh, but what if I find a new?
What the heck? They tried to shoot Donald Trump. You know, Trisha was cutting me off in the beginning of the stream, and I was like, oh, did you guys hear about the assassination attempt?
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
But yeah, some people don't hear new stuff. But yeah, they did.
It's all
My understanding, and new information might have come out. They shot a bunch of times. They clipped his ear, and they killed the guy behind him. And the person who was in, you can't. It's not on the video, but someone else got hit, who was like way in ahead, like in some standing room, just kind of almost at his elevation. Someone got hit there, and that person is in critical condition, and that's all that anybody knows. So they could be fine. They could be like, you know, dead, or dying soon or something.
One person was confirmed dead.
One person was confirmed dead. He was a fire marshal who was. Wow, that's such a fucking cool axe.
Yeah, I wanted to check out like the.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's cool.
We got another teleporter.
Dude, that's cool. Anyway, he was a fire marshal who was protecting his. Nice. Yeah. All right, you got to use this axe. You wouldn't use the other cool weapon. Why don't you go and like upgrade both and like have cool new weapons?
I mean, I can. I've been using other weapons in the DLC. It's not that I haven't been using them at all, but
I admire that you've used the like cool final boss weapon at all. Anyway, the guy was a fire marshal. He was protecting his daughter, is what I heard, when he was shot.
I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, you don't have any runes. It's not a problem.
And I feel like most people's commentary on it is like, wow, I hate people on the left. Like I was like talking about it in someone else's stream, and he was like, all he could talk about was like how much he was like pissed off about people's response to it. And I get it, because I looked at Twitter, and like Destiny was like calling the guy who died for like saving his daughter a retard, and it's like I guess
it's not appropriate.
It's like I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe he had no. I mean, there's really no. Yeah, it's
yeah. You know, like when people are like, "Ugh, too soon."
Yeah,
Yeah, like he literally died yesterday.
Yeah, it's literally like.
You shouldn't be fucking skimming through his social media accounts in the first place. That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird to do. I mean, it just.
Deplorable.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's check out this axe on
But yeah,
boss fight.
if you look at the footage, it's pretty cool. He like yeah. Hey, Night Cass. Welcome. He also hit a pneumatic life that was holding of some speakers. What? Holding up, I'm assuming? Holding up some speakers in pneumatic lift? Probably? A pneumatic lift that was holding up some speakers. So... the ability of the shooter was registered as Republican. Yeah, but he was... like... very cool. He was donating to some Democrat organizations.
Yeah.
There's also plenty of like... There's plenty of like schizos on the right that are like, you know, oh, Donald Trump is like he's a false flag. He's no longer helping QAnon and Putin. So like,
yeah, like really super crazy people.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
What am I looking at?
It is a skeleton riding some sort of nightmare looking fucking...
What crazy.
Whoa, I don't like this. I don't think this axe is gonna be that much help, but I'll give it a shot. Okay, that didn't work. Just a little bit too far.
This guy's going for a poison strap?
Oh my god, he's always too far. This guy's crazy. I need some golden wave. Where is my golden wave? Where is it? Oh, did I pass it? No, that's interesting.
Registered Republican donated to ACTBL or something. Plus, like reported, some people switch parties to
there it
vote
is.
in a different...
Yeah, well, some people don't vote in the primaries, so they never re-register.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's annoying. This guy's really, like, out of the way type of...
He's just like total chaos.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That like horse...
Oh, finally I hit him.
Crazy.
He does take a bunch of damage if you can hit him. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so like Neva was saying, some people...
that's Frost Flame.
That's very cool. Some people vote they register as a different party so that they can vote in primaries to vote in someone that wouldn't win in a general election.
Oh, yeah, to, like, sabotage.
To sabotage, yeah. So sometimes... And then also, if you're planning on being, like, a fucking psycho and, like, getting killed, people can... Like, if you're someone who's planning on shooting Donald Trump and you register as a Republican, then you know that, like, the political discourse will be like, oh, well, it was his own party trying to kill him. It's not our fault. Right? So there's, like, plenty of motivation to register as the opposite party.
Yeah.
Also, I think a lot of people would say that the Republican Party is way too far left. And I think if he was a real Republican, that's a fucking awesome
That's
finish
some
there.
clutch.
That was awesome.
Remembrance of the
Putrescence.
putrescence.
But if he was a real Republican, that would just be more evidence that like the Republican Party is pretty far left if they're trying to assassinate their own candidate for being too far right or something.
Really, he really wanted to kill Donald Trump, so I
Apparently-
don't know if that's really...
Apparently the kid was he was rejected from his rifle club because I don't know, the two members of the high school's rifle club said that he wasn't allowed in because
He was weird or something?
probably because he's weird. You know, it's funny, when I saw him dead I was like, oh, it's weird, he's not that ugly, so it's kind of weird that he's like a psycho. But then I saw his face in like the yearbook, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So he does look super weird. It's just like, yeah.
There's Dahlia. What's up?
It all checks out.
You're welcome. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you're going to sleep. Okay. You're a little bit weird, huh? Oh, trust me, I won't. Yeah. Okay, you enjoy that. Okay. Well, he wants to be alone, so hello there. Are you Saint Trina? Yeah, you are. Alright. Let me take this first.
See, just collecting your cookbook real quick.
Hey, I did the priorities. Loot comes first. Hello, Saint Trina. You are a lolly. Yeah. Imbibe nectar or leave? Well, Tholier said no. So, although I am curious what happens, I assume it's just like a different ending that you can get, like a Saint Trina ending. Let me look it up.
Now, does anyone care about age mythology?
You should imbibe an nectar from Saint Trina if you want to complete Tholier's quest line. While the nectar is indeed as deadly as Tholier lets on, killing you instantly as soon as you drink it, you'll need to imbibe nectar at least 4 times in order to hear Saint Trina's voice. After your 4th death, the screen will fade to black slower than usual, and you'll hear Saint Trina utter the words, "Make Nicola stop. Don't turn the poor thing into a god." Okay, goddamn. I mean, I guess I can certainly die a couple of times. The grace is like right outside, so it doesn't matter. Yummy.
Persistence is the key, I guess.
Yeah, 3 more times, guys. It's like, how would you know to do this otherwise? It's great.
Like, if I was waiting for, like, multiplayer to connect or something, I might just do this over and over again as a joke. But... So does anyone care about age mythology? Because I've learned more about the remake, but I don't know if anyone gives a shit. But I kind of want to, like, talk about it, but I don't know if anyone's going to, like, play it or care or, like, even play the original. So I don't want to, like, bother people. I talked about, like, the gay change they made.
The gay.
Yeah, they, like, made Gaia into, like, a sexy Groot, and they made Isis less boobalicious.
Yeah, for some reason they're like, oh, Grandmother Willow. Everybody likes that character from Pokemon. It's just so sexy.
So they, like, made the human female less attractive, but they made the tree person exist and be more attractive. And I think we live in an era of people's weirdo fetishes, and I think that needs to stop. And I think
At the very least, it needs to be, like, contained.
I think, like, depictions of, like, normal, attractive human females is probably a good move. But I love old and ancient mythos. Hey, well, sorry, I just said hi to you, but just a little bit. Played the original 20 years ago. Haha, I know almost nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite RTS by a million miles. But all the different versions kind of have their own problems.
Mm.
I haven't played the game, but hearing impassioned speeches are good. So, never heard of it, really. Really? You haven't heard of... So you've heard of Age of Empires, right? Age of Empires 1, 2... This was the sequel to Age of Empires 2, which was a very popular game, Age of Mythology was obviously with mythology, and then afterwards was Age of Empires 3, which everyone hated, and then they stopped making Age of Empires for like 20 years. And then recently, Age of Empires 2's community has gotten so popular that they've started updating Age of Empires 2. And that has a competitive scene, and they've just like started making updates for it. And then they came out with Age of Empires 4, which I guess is fine. I don't know. I didn't really look into it too much. I assume it's a little gay, but this happens. Yeah, so in any case, they made some interesting changes from the original in the remake, because they're doing, it's not just like a re-release, it's like a remake, like they're kind of making changes and stuff.
Right. Trying, hopefully making the game better.
Yeah, so Hades used to do, like his archers used to do like 10% more damage, and his buildings that shoot arrows would do like 20% more damage. Something like that. What they're changing is they're having, instead of him doing more damage, he no longer does more damage. Now he has +2 range on his archers and his building, which is super interesting. Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, and Warcraft, the triad of my time. Yeah. Try again.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
He seems to be very upset that I'm the chosen one and he's not.
Oh.
I could try again. Please enough. I cannot believe your cheek, and I will stand for it no longer. Aw, he doesn't like me now. Well.
And buy more nectar.
Buy more
See if they're going to say anything else.
I don't think she says anything else.
Let me see the message though, if it pops up again.
Maybe it'll pop up again.
So is that actually Saint Trina?
Yes, this is Saint Trina. I'm addicted to her sweet nectar. I can't help myself. Oh, she says more stuff. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I don't want Mikola to be a god either. Only I can be a god. Those are the rules. Yeah, so obviously they're taking inspiration from Griffith, from Berserk. Obviously. But let's see if she keeps on saying more stuff.
+2 distance, you mean? That can be more powerful than damage, really. Exactly what I was thinking. So, towers...
Oh, and he's gonna try to kill me now because I'm the chosen one and he's not? Jealous little pussy.
That's a gay spell. Oh, that's very dangerous looking. Oh, he has a poison fist weapon? Oh, that's so cool!
Dodge this. Oh.
Oh my god.
That's okay.
So towers have a range of like 20. He adds 2 to the range of towers. Catapults have like a range...
Not my fault, you're not the poison. Ah!
Catapults have a range of 28. Gastrophetes are like the long-range archers that Hades gets. And those...
I got St. Trina's smile. Nice.
Those guys have a range of 24, so +2 would be 26. They almost have as much as the catapults. Yeah. And if there's another range upgrade that he has somewhere in his tech tree, that could be bonkers, right? Because the buildings aren't anywhere near close to outranging a catapult, but what if they were? What if they had the same... What if you could get a building's
Look,
range?
he's still alive. You want to apologize for attacking me?
Yeah, you should.
Oh, now it's a pity party. I did. I'm trying to tell you. Okay.
Oh, is
Alright, fine, game. Don't give me the option.
So
I'll
is
just
you-
imbibe more nectar. Oh, so delicious. I love you.
In Warcraft, building towers near the enemy base early game is a common strategy, making larger range highly advantageous. So in Age of Mythology, towers don't do damage until you age up at least once. So like you can't super early, you can't even build towers, I think, in the first age. So like super early towers in the enemy base, not a thing. But you do bring up an interesting point that destroying someone's buildings with a building...
You must kill Nicola. I was going to. But we'll see. We'll see after he's dead.
Your opinions are literally poisonous, but I guess I'll do it, because I have no free will. If the buildings have the same range as a catapult, it's very OP because there's no counter. Well, the catapults already have a lot of piercing resistance, right? So you probably would still win the fight against the building. However, if you have a bunch of villagers repairing the building, you know, it's strong. It's really strong. It's not like super... It's probably too strong. That's why you can't actually do it. But it's interesting. But you could, if a town center has the same range as of like 20, and you build a tower right at 22, and it can shoot the town center. There's all these town centers you want to build in all these other places. If you just have a villager go out and drop a tower, that could be a kind of cheap way of just like taking out the town center eventually. Although like arrows are not exactly how you want to destroy a building. But
Okay, so that must be the last thing that she says. Is you
yeah,
must
it
kill
looks like
Nicola.
it.
Makes sense. It
Anyway.
is a very urgent message.
I'm super excited for the range instead of damage. I think that's super interesting. Because I'm playing with this mod right now that it's 3 times technologies, so you can research each technology 3 times, and then you see the technologies like do more. It's just a very interesting like way to look at the game that I haven't like tried out, so I'm kind of fascinated with it. But in that mode, Hades is plus 10% or plus 20% damage on towers doesn't really matter because I get so many other 10% from just upgrading the armory upgrades of like the weapons. But range is a pretty rare upgrade. You don't usually get anything that increases your range. Now, Poseidon has an interesting change, which is instead of extra health for his cavalry and a cheaper stable, like being like 15 wood cheaper or whatever it was, now he has 0.4 extra speed. For reference, like a transport ship has 5.2 speed. I don't know. Oh, bless you. Oh, thank you. I don't know like what 0.4 really means. I don't know the speeds of a lot of units because I don't have like the super enhanced tooltips that show you all the stats. So I don't really know like what 0.4 really accounts for.
But he gets 0.4 extra speed on cavalry, which is going to be useful, because if you're in a mirror match against like Zeus or something, you're going to be outrunning all of his stuff by a little bit. So if they're trying to chase you around their base while you're like wrecking stuff with Poseidon's special like demolition cavalry, then they can't really stop you as easily, even if you're stopping to hit a house occasionally or whatever. You can get a lot more stuff done before they can punish you for it. And then also, you get 0.4 extra speed on your myth units, which is also super interesting. They move a little faster, so like something really slow like a Colossus, you can get them into the action better, and that benefit is... because it's hard to build forward as Greek because your villagers are vulnerable, whereas like Norse you can build right in their base and start putting units out of that, so you don't need like your myth units to be fast. But if you're building in your own base and you're sending them over to their base, any amount of speed on any of your units is super valuable. And if you're only using cavalry and myth units, which is like what I would do with Poseidon, everything relevant is moving a little faster. Also, like if you have centaurs or something, that's a myth unit, but that's kind of cavalry too, so that gets the speed, which is nice.
Go over this. That's a mountain. It doesn't look like it.
There's a bridge to get there.
I must
Yeah.
have to go over here and then go out like that.
Oh, maybe yeah.
That's the cave to get the map on the other area.
Oh, okay.
It's another
Nice.
cave to get a map.
And then the other thing that gets movement bonus is caravans. So in Age of Mythology, if you don't know, caravans, you can build a market, and then out of that you can make caravans, and you can send them to a town center, and then they run back to the market and drop off money. Not really how real economics work, but that is how you get infinite money. And it takes a long time for that trip to come back and forth, so it's better to gather gold. It's just like more efficient to have gold miners. But you can run out of gold mines. So late game, that's going to be how you get money after you've run out of ways of getting money, right? So, having a faster caravan means that late game Poseidon can just be putting out more money for his population limit, so he can just be outperforming people late game by having that caravan increase right out of the get-go without having to get any researches. Super interesting.
How do I get down there? Do I have to go through another cave to get to the cave, to get to the map, to the other area?
First time I see an RTS with a buff in range distance. There's actually a couple in Age of Mythology. Throwing Axemen get a +2 bonus
Oh, here.
with their upgrade with one of the gods, one of the minor gods. That helps them like take out like flying stuff. It gives them like 200% more damage to flying units.
Concentration. This way.
Playing with the 3x technology mod, I have more of a reason to like read the technologies because I'm getting them 3 times. So it makes me more curious what they're doing. Whereas normally if I have extra resources, I just kind of grab whatever. If it's like mild, because it used to be you couldn't really see what they did unless you, but now, because it would tell you very vaguely what it does. But with the tooltip mod that I have, it tells you exactly what it does, what percentages it's increasing and stuff. And it's so much more enjoyable to play like that. Like it's so kitted down, just saying like, oh, it makes your minotaurs like hit harder or something.
Mm.
But it doesn't tell you like how much damage and what that means. Like for instance, peasants, like villagers or whatever, they have a damage bonus against town centers, which is like not something you would normally see. But if someone builds a town center in your base, you could have all of the villagers just turn around and like destroy the town center. Like if they destroy your town center and replace it, and you still have all those guys on the farms surrounding it, you can just dogpile the town center, just destroy it with knives. Doesn't make any sense, but you know, gameplay balance wise. They also have a bonus against towers. They do double damage attacking towers. Probably because of that Warcraft strategy you were talking about, Mr. Knight Cass.
Gotta say, Cassandra's kind of a bitchin' name.
It is.
Because you have, like, a built-in nickname in, like, Cass or Cassie, which sounds, like, pretty normal. But then, if you're, like, you know, a vampire or something, you're like, Cassandra. You know?
So where? Over here. Okay.
So,
Oh.
so this is, like, a question I like asking people is, like, if you were a vampire, what would you change your name to? Because, like,
It's
normally...
gotta be something cool and vampire in that.
Well, normally you shorten your name to as like a nickname. This is like normally how people like operate amongst like friends or whatever. But if you're going to a job interview, you want to be like, you're not Mike, you're Michael, right? And yeah, and so like I was talking to a guy named
No.
That's what you do. And I was talking to a guy named Scott, and I was like, what would you do if you turned into a vampire? Like, what would you change your name? Yeah, it sucks. And he had a good answer. He was like, Prescott. It's like, oh, that is a good vampire name.
It's pretty good, yeah.
But like, for David over there, I don't know what I would do as a if you were turning into a vampire and you had to make your name like more, you know, more like vampire kind of name. Where do you go with that? I know it's a real name is Davido. I don't know if that's the move. Davido. You could just straight up gaslight people and be like, my name is David.
David.
Sounds a little like Hebrew, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
That's its origin.
Yeah, it's probably how you're supposed to pronounce David. It's probably David. What, like Dr. Acula? Davacula? Davkula. Yeah, I could dig it.
Oh, there it is. Alright.
It should always be clear what you're gaining when you receive a buff in any game. It's odd when buffs are given without specifying their effects. Unless it's for narrative reasons. I don't care about narrative reasons, and I'm a writer. I'm a goddamn author. I don't give a shit. They should just tell you the percentages. If they're like, yeah, you do 666% more damage because narratively you're Satan, fine. But like, fine, you know? But it's like, you know, if Master Chief if the Master Chief like Stan in the JoJo open world RPG like IP Nightmare is 117% more damage, so that's okay. But just tell me what the percentages are. Like,
I think that is a... Oh, sorry. I think that is a...
it's such a... I think a big reason why they don't do it is because they don't want people commenting on the game balance. They're like insecure about the decisions that they made. Or if they want to rebalance something later, they don't want to tell people what the changes are.
You got down from jumping, just
But I
so
think
you could
it's...
start jumping again.
Yeah. I think it's slimy though. Lol, I was gonna be like David. You were also gonna go with David? I don't know. Davkula is probably pretty good. What if you just shorten it to like Dav? You know what?
Aww.
I kind of feel like Dav
Like
is...
D-A-V?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Fuck you and your jumping.
No, what about you, Oscar? Is there like a... Oscariot?
I'm scared. Oh well.
Oh, scare. It's very Halloween-y. But it's silly because eventually Legion of players will run countless tests and figure out exactly what the buff does. Yeah, that or just like data mine it. I mean, it's not even hard to figure out what the buffs do in Age of Mythology because it's all in a text document. I hope they do that with the.
Oh, I didn't hit him. Come on.
I hope they do that with the new game that's coming out.
What? This guy goes way faster than the other guys. What's up with that?
Yeah, if you turned into a vampire, Oscar, yes you. What would you change your name to, right? Because like if you're trying to, you got like a pet nickname that your girl calls you or something, or you got like buddies, they might shorten your name to like, I don't know, Oski Woski or something. I don't know how you shorten Oscar, but like if you turn into a vampire, right? You got to make your name more prestigious. You got to be more like eloquent.
It's a rule, yeah.
So like I had a friend named Scott, and he was like, "Oh, I'd be Prescott." It's like if your name is Alex and you're a vampire, you're Alexander, or maybe Xander.
Xander, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. But that's like if you're like a Bruja, like if you're like a big like muscly vampire who's gonna like crush someone, or you could be like a smart manipulator vampire and be like Xander. That was a bad decision.
It worked the first time, Adam.
Okay.
I was trying to capitalize on it.
Osferatu? Alright. I'm in. Osferatu. Are we following the rules of classic vampire or Vampire the Masquerade? I'm like thinking like, vampires in general, but I was just using Bruja as like shorthand for like big muscly vampire. Although it is like terrible terminology because it's just like some Spanish word. Doesn't really translate like in the broader world of like vampires. If it's the classic rules, I'd consider changing the name. Ooh. Zaileron is one of my high elf characters. Decent. Hey, chest high walls. Only have a minute to spare. Just happened to catch you guys
Hey,
live.
what's
Wanted to say
up?
hi.
Hope things have been a-okay.
Speaking of name changes,
Oh.
I was talking to we were in like an Uber and our driver was Albanian, and because I was like, "Oh, what's your accent?" He's it's I don't know if you've ever heard of this country, Albania, and I was like, "Yeah." And then I didn't tell him that all I'd heard about Albania was the human trafficking, and
That's probably a good choice.
yeah, that was all I'd heard about Albania. TBH. At the time I didn't even remember that it was like the Muslim country that's opposite, like, was it Serbia, where they're like in conflict with each other, and like the second the UN peacekeepers leave, Serbia will crush them into the dirt.
I left more horrifying comic panels for you in Discord. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. I was thinking about doing a comic read-through of the Pride that you sent me today, a while ago, I guess. But I decided maybe people need a more laid-back, easy-going video after all the stress.
The shooting.
Yeah.
Anyway, the cab driver was like, he said Albania, and I was like, oh, I bet that had some kind of it had some kind of different name in like ancient Greece, like there's like Thrace or something is like some area over there, and like what I was like talking about that kind of thing,
And then he was like, oh yeah, my son is super into it. He's like a Christian. And he gets really into like the ancient history of like Albania, and like he was like looking at our like genetics and whatever, and like, oh, we should be Christians or something like that. And he's like, oh, it's Illyria, that's what he called it. Old Illyria. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then that kind of just went in like the back pocket of my brain. Like I just didn't like process anything he was talking about, other than like Illyria being the term for it. And like I know in man, who is doing this to you? Is there like someone?
I'm more so surprised that they get like all the range in the world, even when they can't see me.
Yeah, like who?
The spell just like knows. It's
But-
the person on top of the rafters in that room.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, or the goblin or whatever, gargoyle.
Yeah, yeah. I know in Warhammer Fantasy, the elven archers, the elven horse archers was why I thought about it. With the Zolirion, someone mentioned. Also, kind of sounds like Illyrian, but that's what they're called. They're called Illyrian horse archers. So I wonder if like actual ancient Albanians had good horse archers. I do not know. But kind of cool. But recently Albania has shifted. Did you pick up the item that the guy dropped?
Yes.
Okay.
Picked it up super fast.
Yeah, because the light was still there. Albania has shifted from being a Muslim majority country to Christian majority country, which is interesting. Nobody saw that coming, but my actual name, it'd be stupid for a vampire name. There is no variations. Well, I don't want you to like dox yourself, but I bet there's some leeway. Like Ike. The nickname for Ike is, or the full name for Ike is Ichabod.
Right. Just because of pronunciation things.
And like if your name is Henry, there's Heinrich. You could take like the like Anglicized or Americanized version of it. What else is there? Or like for Bill, there's like William, right? I'm trying to think if there's a longer version of Jeff.
Jeffrey?
Yeah, but that's not there's no vampire
Jefferson.
Jefferson. I don't know. I think if you're named Jeff and you turn into a vampire, you're just gonna have to go for a name change. Because I don't really see a way out for Jeff. I don't think Jeffrey or even Jefferson is really. Jefferson is, I don't know.
Oh, fucking really? Ladder battle? I have to wait for him to climb all the way back up again so I can hit him. Yes, I do. Why did they aggro?
Jeff is an English name. It could be. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes like other countries will have like longer versions of stuff that make it like more fancy.
Yeah. Oh god. This thing. That gets around the shield. I think it's coming from somewhere I can't slash it as well. Yeah, because... Man, that's a real pain in the fucking ass. Why do they do that?
If you're named Rudy, that'd go into Rudolph.
Stop bouncing. Okay. More levels to go. We're almost there, I think.
Apparently, most countries translate Jeffrey to some form of Gottfried.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now we're talking.
Can you go Jeffrey to couldn't go Friedrich. That's like Fred. If you're Fred, you're going to Frederick. Or Friedrich.
One of the big ones, huh?
Friedrich Kackenstein.
Oh, God.
That's... Oh, you're safe in there.
Well, it explodes afterwards, but, like, it's not a permanent solution, of course.
Depending on your level of bravery, it is.
Why would they do this?
It's better than a falling puzzle.
Is it?
You know?
It creates more anxiety, doesn't it?
I'd rather this than platforming, to be honest. In Latin, Jeffrey is Galfridus. I mean, that's solution found.
There's a couple
That's-
different pathways here.
I mean, Galfridus
I
also...
guess you should go for the closest one.
That almost feels like... Now you're, like, almost too ancient to be a vampire. Now you're like this antediluvian... That's like antediluvian Jeffrey is Galfridus.
I could really use, like, another grace or something.
What is Iscariot?
Oh my god, it goes in the room too.
It sounds like it's like vampire related, right?
If I pull the lever, will it go away? No, it just turns all the lights off.
Iscariot, Judas Iscariot. Okay, so that was the last name of. That was the last name of Judas?
Oh, he got down from the thing. Nice. Alright.
Oh no, he like wrote some shit in the Bible. He wasn't the guy who like betrayed him, right?
I can go that direction too. I don't know what direction is exactly
Oh, no,
the correct direction, but...
He did betray Jesus. Judas Iscariot.
Treasure.
Oh, notorious for betraying
Oh.
Jesus, yeah.
Treasure.
Probably a corruption of the Latin Sicarius, murderer or assassin. Okay, so that gets used in like Helsing and stuff, right? I think they like.
So I can summon those cannon guys.
Oh, nice. That's actually
Or-
really.
I don't think the big ones, but like the little ones.
Yeah, bring in some extra firepower.
Yeah.
Judas Iscariot, yeah. There are also other Judes in the Bible, yeah.
This is a great sword. Jesus.
Oscar is Oscar in every language except Latin, where it is Onscarius. Holy shit. That's almost too ancient again. Like, that's not quite right, you know? That's like
pretty good though.
that's like some isekai name. Like that's like your isekai name if you're like changing your name when you oh, Gesundheit. If you're changing your name when you like isekai into like an ancient Roman RPG, you're set up with Onscarius.
So that's where I went. We go down here. Alright.
It's so weird
Another level.
in like the story about like Vlad the Impaler. There's one guy in the story. He's just called Dan. He's like a general or something, and it's like instead of Daniel or whatever, the Romanian version of it's just Dan. It's like, and then Dan brought his own Dan. Dan. There's like Vladislav, the Slaughterer, and then it's like, and Dan.
I got like no focus left, so.
Just don't get hit.
Yeah, I just won't get it.
Just be way better.
Oh, we're opening up with that, huh? Oh, it's a holy guy, of course. Oh, this isn't annoying.
All you have to do is just walk. Easy. Oh, that's something. Is it an elephant? Is it teleporting elephant man?
Shield bros, go get him. Oh yeah, that's right. No.
David is David in every language, even Latin. Makes sense as his biblical name. Dan is also the same in every language. What about Daniel? It is really funny in the context of like Vlad the Impaler, because it's like such an extreme story, and there's like other people in the story are like Radu, Vladislav, and then it's just Dan. And like as far as I saw, because I was listening to a video talking about it, and they were making fun of the fact he was just like Dan, and I was like, he's got to have a last name, and I looked him up.
Oh no.
And he like it's the family he came from is like known, but I don't think it was like part of his title. Like I don't think his family's name is part of his title for whatever reason. Like he wasn't significant enough or something. I don't know. I don't know how the rules work.
Man,
This
I'm
guy's
screwed.
styling on you hard.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for this kind of boss.
I mean, you got him down to half, and like you haven't seen any of these moves before, so that's doing pretty good. Oh, you know what you could have done? You could have pulled out the spiked mace thingy to heal yourself with the hits.
Yeah, well,
It'd be minimal,
I
but-
didn't want to take a risk of getting hit when I go through my inventory.
Yeah.
How close is this Steak America? Hopefully it's right outside the door.
James is a version of Jacob.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
It's a shortened version of Daniel. I don't even know if... Right, but like historically the guy's like name is Dan. Like he was never Daniel. He didn't give his nickname to the historians. He was just like... He just was born and they named him and they were like, this is going to be Dan.
I deal with these types of guys.
So here's the move, right? You're the king of like France or something, right? Or no, you're the king of England, right? And you have a son, and the king of France is like, my son is Daniel, the first of his name, right? Daniel the First, which is such an alpha move to just be like, he's like Henry the First. It's like the first one. Like I don't know, man. Henry, the first of his name. Because obviously there's been other Henrys. But like, so the king of France is like, yeah, Daniel the first of his name. What if you have a kid and you're like, Dan the first of his name? Cool guy. Oh wow, you just like pulled out the, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Wild Swings is very good. Where's it teleported to?
I think you should-
There he is.
You should use that like teleporty axe. It's cool.
Yes.
Teleport through his like air slices, through his Iron Reaper Soul Stealers. I am the great wizard, Tim. Or is it Tim the Enchanter? One of the tribes of Israel was called Dan? No fucking way. Dan apparently means to judge, and Daniel means God is my judge, at least in Hebrew. So Dan is more powerful than Daniel.
Well, there
That's
you
what
have
you're
it, folks. Barbed staff spear.
That looks like a total piece of shit as a spear.
Yeah, it does.
All those random prongs that'll just break off on something.
I could have gone even
Are
harder
those
on that guy.
are those rune arcs sitting on the graves?
I think they're just candles.
I'm like asking more lore wise.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
Like I know you can't pick them up, but I think that's what that's supposed to be. It's just a rune arc sitting there.
That's, yeah,
Interesting.
little details.
No way, Jacob and James are versions of Seamus? The fuck happened there? I guess William and Bill are the same, like, root. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Or like Bob. Bob and William are like...
Are they?
Oh no, it's Bob and Robert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if your name is
Ooh,
Rob,
area.
what's your vampire name? Is Robert enough?
Oh, this reminds me of the eclipse.
If you turn into a cyborg, you could be like
It waits
Robotom.
inside. Ooh, that's spooky. I appreciate the spooky
Oh,
factor.
Adam is Adam everywhere. Another biblical name, of course. Yeah, it sucks. It's no good.
You don't like your name?
Not really, no. I never really thought about it, but nah.
I don't like my name, but that's fine. I feel like it's kind of normal to just like not grow very attached to your name.
But I met a guy named Thor, and he loved his name.
Yeah. I'm sure he gets complimented on it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, he
helps.
gets complimented on his name all
Like,
the time.
Who's gonna compliment me on my name, right?
Yeah.
I guess there's like anime people. There are a few characters in anime named Trish.
Yeah.
Specifically Trish, never Trisha, but
Yeah. It's like...
so that's like the closest that I've
Oh,
gotten in
God.
modern day.
Remember the airport? That's such a shit show.
Turn back. No,
My...
this is very cool.
We were going to like Disney World or whatever, and my dad got like the tickets and everything, and he put Patricia on the ticket. He asked me if your name was short for Patricia. I was like, no, it's just Trisha.
Yeah, it's just Trisha.
And
It
then
really is.
he took that information and wrote Patricia on the
He
thing.
just wasn't listening, basically.
But it's like, why even ask? I was so emphatic about it. I was like, no, it's not. That's not her name. It's just Trisha.
Yeah.
And then
Normally it is short for Patricia, but just not in my case.
yeah, you're like Dan.
Yeah. Dannphan.
Just Dan. It's just like the
Don't let it see you. Once you are seen, there is no escape.
There's the grace is like right there.
It cannot even be touched.
I hope that's a boss. I hope it's a grace mimic.
Hang on.
Oh, you
What
have
if we
something.
double mimic?
Okay. Are you gonna crouch as a mimic?
Up.
Okay.
The action. Any action breaks the spell.
Proceeds to write it Patricia instead of Patricia.
Well, it turned me into a dead rat. That's not very flattering.
But it's incognito. Is the tail actually moving, or is it just clipping at the floor?
It's flipping.
Okay. Some of the J names are Y names in Hebrew. Joshua is Yeshua. Jordan is Yarden. Huh. Thursday is named after Thor. That is true. And in German, Thor is named...
That would be really funny if it is a grace mimic.
Like it just like it's like the eye of a giant cyclops all of a sudden, it just like grabs you. Yeah, Thursday is named after Thor, and then in German, Thor is named Donar. And so Thursday in German is Donnerstag. His Tag is day, like Guten Tag, you know. So it's still named after Thor in German, even if it's a different word, which is kind of neat. And then I think someone was saying that Donner and Blitzen are named after Thunder and Lightning, because those are Thor's goats. He has a chariot pulled by goats.
Oh, okay. This is kind of a neat, spooky area, I guess. Like this effect on the water with the.
Oh, that was good. I thought so.
Wow. Oh, madness. Are we doing another eye thing?
Yeah, my favorite.
We're doing it a third time. We're
So
doing
the
the eye of
madness-
Sauron a third
The
time.
madness stuff showing up here is like somehow plot significant, right?
I don't know. Why didn't you die?
But yeah,
Talk about madness.
my favorite thing with the Thursday thing is Friday is named after Freya, right? And so in German it's Freitag. Tuesday is named after Tyr. And Wednesday is named after Odin, or German spelling Woden. So, hey Gergie, you wanna come hang out in here? You wanna lay on the floor over there?
There's another grace.
So you'd expect Wednesday to be...
Oh, madness goats.
Can't trust him. Rolling away.
Scared of me.
Hey. Oh, excuse me.
Is this supposed to be like the source of madness or something down here?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's what you're finding. It's super spooky with all those messages, though.
Yeah, for sure. This place got vibe.
But yeah, anyway, get baited. Wednesday is not like Wodenstag in German. It's Mittwoch, as in midweek.
Hide yourself, make not a sound. Quietly await your chance. Combat is not an option.
Saturn and Sundays got days as well. Yeah. Monday, Moon Day, yeah.
Crouch in the undergrowth, if you say so.
The days of the week have a decent split for my my ethnic heritage. I got like German is like most of the week, and then Saturn is Roman god, my Italian side.
What is that?
People who are like
Madness guy with a cane, I guess.
people who are like yeah, it seems like really dangerous because all the messages, but it's probably just an old man. You can just beat him up. Yeah, but anyway, people who are Spanish have such a crazy like ethnic history because they were also part of the Roman Empire, but then after that they were like kicking ass with their armada like all over Europe. There's like so many random wars that Spain got into, and then they kicked the shit out of like South America, and then like spread their language over. Oh boy, he doesn't have hitbox.
No, he doesn't. That explains the combat is not an option message. I thought maybe I was supposed to backstab him or something. But he just straight up absolutely cannot be touched. Interesting choice. Yes.
Chest-High Walls is heading out. Well,
Okay, we'll see you next time.
yeah. See ya, Chest-High Walls.
And I'll check my Discord.
Yeah. January is an interesting month as
It
far as like
is.
the name of that.
The source of madness. Oh.
Oh,
Oh no. We're playing horror game now? I thought I could maybe like pick it and make some madness stuff with it. Instead it's just Bell.
so
This is interesting. It's different gameplay than what you're usually used to in Elden Ring.
I wish there was some kind of feature of his body that
you can't see me.
that showed that
No, you can't see me.
he was like ethereal.
No, you can't see me.
How many souls did you lose in there?
Not a whole lot. I already leveled up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wish his body seemed more like
Ghosty.
ghosty, so that it would seem fair that you can't hit him.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But yeah.
It seems like I should be able to like ride around on my horse in this section, but I cannot. I guess because they want these sneaking sections, and the horse would kind of ruin it.
Nice build up. It's quite spooky, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't mind this. As far as like dark areas, this is obviously meant to be like spooky, and I think they have the right atmosphere here.
Yeah, I think they're just not as good at making like the pretty areas.
They have some pretty areas in this DLC.
They gave it their best shot, but they're not that good. Like they're not that pretty. They just don't have the skill because they haven't honed it over many games. They don't have.
Maybe. I think they put the most effort into designing, like the area like aesthetics more than anything in this DLC. There's a lot of reused stuff. And there's like a lot of like annoying map design things that clearly were not optimized as much as the main game, but they did manage to make some super cool looking areas, and not every enemy is a winner, but some of them are pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of cool new gameplay stuff.
Super interesting. From David Myers. He was watching someone play this, and the guy was crouched in like a bush or something, but he found out they can see they can see your sword.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not true. It should probably just seem like that because of some other mechanic, but it would be really interesting if they could see your sword. You have to like put away your weapon.
That would be interesting, but
then also like having clipping be a mechanic is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And Oscar's pain is finally subsiding. Good to hear.
Sick. Alrighty, well, I'm kind of feeling done for playing tonight, but we did a lot. We did all of the St. Trina stuff, and then we did that one other area, and then next time we'll do this area, and then... Well, this area will probably take a while, but then afterwards we'll move on to, like, finishing up the DLC in the last area. So for now we can just chill and chat for whatever many minutes you want to hang on to.
Yeah, we'll do spooky section next time.
Yeah, spooky section.
So yeah, no, the Janus thing is interesting. Janus. So January is named after the god Janus. What is Janus the god of? Nobody fucking knows, because the Etruscans were the people with the dominant culture before the Romans in Italy, and they didn't know. But it was from whatever people that they conquered. But they were still so scared of the god Janus that they honored him despite not knowing anything about him, because the people they conquered also didn't know anything about him because it was from the people that they conquered.
Mm.
So it's a super old god, if that's true, and to be able to be so like powerful that many generations like fear you as a deity is super cool. Right? Now, we're mostly dealing with like tradition and stuff, and that's probably why it like passed on, but that you could certainly tell a story, like a historical story, that'd be like, you know, accurate and like really, you could tell it in such a way that Janus seems very like ominous, right? Because it's like whoever the people that came before the Etruscans, the people whom we do not even know the name of, they didn't even worship Janus. It was the people before them,
right,
whom we don't even know the name of. And so the Romans worshipped Janus and feared Janus, not knowing how to worship him, not knowing any attributes about him.
It's like the solo leveling first boss, like, how do we worship this guy?
Right. So they built these big archway in the middle of Rome, and it had these big doors, and when they would go to war, they would open the gates of Janus to honor Janus. And so he's sometimes spoken of as like a god of war, but that's not accurate. Nobody knows.
The god of gates.
But they they named the first month of the year after him as like some kind of like tribute to him. And I just thought that was so interesting that was.
Yeah, that is really an interesting story.
Yeah, and then when they're at peace, they close the gates of Janus. But the gates of Janus will get closed for like political reasons, because like I was like, I'm an emperor that's so good that the gates of Janus will close my whole reign. And they're like, yeah, but what about the rebellions you were putting down? It's like, shut up, that's not real war. And it's like,
what's that over there?
What about the people over there? They're so shitty, it's barely a war. Shut up, the gates stay closed. So like, the gates, the gates of Janus should never really be closed in the history of Rome, because they're kind of always in a constant state of like, they're constantly using their army for something. But
sure, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're thinking like major wars with like a major power, they could be closed majority of the time. And then after they destroy Carthage, it's just like, all right, shut the gates, we're good. And then they're just like, rampant degeneracy would eventually destroy Rome like later. But if they could keep their shit together and not stab Caesar, they'd probably still be around.
According to this, he is also the god of endings, doors, gates, and a long list of other things.
Yes, all of that long list of other things is all guesses made up by probably Victorians that have no fucking clue.
Yeah, that's not right.
It's all just history people have made up. There is literally no information about what he did, because the Etruscans didn't know, and we know barely anything about the Etruscans. They were like a totally different culture with their own burial rites. They had mummies, like there are Etruscan mummies. And their mummies would be wrapped in cloth that had writing inscribed in the inside of it. What does the writing say? No one fucking knows.
It's like the fucking seals from Inuyasha, born by evil.
Yeah, but they unwrapped a whole mummy and they were like, "Oh, I wonder what it says." And to me, I'm just like, I don't believe in any of that shit, but it's like, it just seems like how you get cursed. Dude.
yeah, for sure.
Seems like please
That's
curse me.
That's a good start of like an Indiana Jones movie.
It's like the girl who's like, Hadassah. Like the girl who's like, oh, I gave birth to a spirit baby looking for a host. And it's like,
oh, yeah?
That sounds like a demon possession, not gonna lie.
It came to me in my dreams.
Yeah. Like, I'm not, like, a believer in any of that kind of stuff, but, like, I mean, if I'm just, like, we're just following logic and, like, she believes in that stuff, it's just, like, how do you not see that you just, like, if you're correct, your baby is possessed by a demon. Like,
yeah, right. So, Hadassah, how would you rate that on a vampire name?
I don't know. It's like a vampire name has to be kind of like eloquent and whatever. That seems like a mummy name. Like that seems like a pharaoh name. It's not really, or a demon name. It doesn't. It's not like a vampire has to be like Lucian. Like you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there's like it has to have a certain like eloquence to it, but it doesn't really fit. It's not a war. It's a police action. Yeah, of course. Of course. That's so shut the gates. It's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, now you guys can be like, now you guys have an extra sophisticated historical reference you can make. When a country is claiming they're not at war, you could just be like, oh no, it's fine, keep the gates shut. It's okay. Not a war.
Yeah, right.
According to this, he is also the god of... There are a bunch like them in Europe, mostly forgotten, that had golden bongs. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. I will tell you, for weed history, the people that had weed first were the Scythians.
Oh, really?
I like the X-Files episode with vampires, but instead of being all suave, they live in a trailer park. Wow, they subverted expectations. Oh, how creative. They shit on random white people instead of showing them as, like, fancy and rich and living in mansions. Oh, X-Files. Okay.
Did you watch that episode?
No, I didn't. It just sounds like...
I was just
terrible.
thinking of that, like, the parody vampire documentary. What was it called again? Do you remember? It was, like, on YouTube. You showed it to me.
With what?
The parody vampire documentary thing.
Oh, Believe in the Shadows?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was, like, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is super funny. The movie was super funny. The TV show, not quite there.
Really? I thought you said that it was, like, kind of similar in the sense where it starts off funny, but then, like, it drops off and becomes, like, shit for the later half.
They copy all the stuff from the movie and they don't do it as well. And
Okay.
then after that, they're just, like, swinging and they're just swinging and missing with, like, almost 100% of the stuff they're doing. And then they go for some, like, super outdated, like, political comedy, like, whoa,
Oh, no.
oil,
It's
the
always a bad
Republicans,
idea.
you know what I mean? And it's like, I have no
don't
fucking
actually.
idea. None of this is funny. And they'll just, like, they'll say things that are jokes, and I don't understand it even slightly because it's some kind of political reference or, like, reference to a pop song no one ever heard. Like, it's, like, just totally just hard whiff.
Yeah.
But the movie was pretty funny. So, watch that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scythians. So the Scythians, yeah, they didn't smoke it like rolled up or in a bong or something. They just threw it into their campfire and then they would, like,
Party.
well, not really. It's just like a
Just secondhand, like.
yeah. It was literally just like people sitting around the fire eating would have some mild pleasant effect, and it was also a much weaker strain back then. It wasn't like
No, really.
you know. It's like similar with like tobacco had to be like bred into this like super potent thing.
Right.
Once upon a time it was like very mild. But yeah, the weed essentially is like traced back to Scythians. They like wherever they got it from, they like brought it into wherever it stuck. It's like came from Scythians passing through and like trading it or whatever.
That is interesting, yeah.
Especially as like a nomadic people, it's a bit kind of wild, so kind of weird. I don't really know how that worked. But anyway, yeah, they're like the original horse archers. They were like pre-Mongols, much older people. They went through Mongolia and fucked up Mongolia pretty bad, and they were like, man, those guys riding by on horses, really good at that. We should try that someday. Hopefully we'll be successful in like 1,000 years with that tactic. And they did copy the Scythians, and much later they would have a lot of success.
Surprisingly many Scythian memes.
Oh yeah, there's a shit ton of like Scythian memes.
Much more than you would think.
Yeah, like we saw this like stupid magnet in some gift shop, and it said like alcohol, because no great story ever started with a glass of milk. And then I saw someone took that and used it in like a Scythian meme where they're like, because the Scythians drank milk,
Yeah.
and they're all like they're always depicted as like super muscular because the places that they're going, a lot of them didn't have a lot of protein, like, you know. It's kind of like the Aryan meme where they attack India and then they're all like these like 6'3" Giga Chads because they're eating all this like protein all the time, and they have like iron weapons, and they go to India when they still have like stone weapons, like they have like stone spears, and like their kings have like copper, and then they ride in with iron, and they're like, I can cut through all of the stuff you have. Our bows outrange all of your stuff. You don't even have cavalry. We have chariots. Get Giga shit on.
Just hitting their buildings with swords and they crumble.
Yeah, like straight up Age of Empires on them.
Yeah.
But my friend Sergeant Salamander is going to do a campaign with the Scythians. He has a channel where he narrates his like playthroughs of Paradox games,
as a historical take, and he's doing Scythians next. They won the vote. They beat the Tokarians in the tiebreaker. So now I'm gonna have lots of Scythian content to enjoy now. Everyone's very excited. I'm pumped. I made a meme today for it where I recreated like Scythians in Mountain Blade, and I was like, oh, I recreated the battle, and I swapped the damage for like regular bows with ballista, like the siege ballista, so this big explosion when you shoot the arrows, and I just like had some cavalry like ride around shooting at these like random looters, and it's just like it was very entertaining.
Oh, sick. Alright, guys. Well, I'm ready to call it a night. So, thank you for joining us on another fantastic Game Fan stream.
Yeah, and thanks to Rumble. Even though no one said anything, we had like 8 people the whole time.
Yeah, something like that.
Thanks for watching, Rumble.
Yeah. And we'll do our best to finish up the DLC sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll stream tomorrow. Do we
Sure.
have anything planned, or?
Just delivering packages.
All right. Well, then we'll stream tomorrow. So we'll see you guys then.